Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson again, and we're continuing our series of getting ready for 8th grade mathematics with our show number 4. We're continuing from last time of solving equations, part 2. So let's get into it. If you remember, here was our agenda that we did. We started with one-step equations, and we went to two-step equations. We did some distribution with two-step equations. We showed fractions with two-step equations, and now we're working on what's called multi-step equations. So a multi-step equation are algebraic expressions that require more than one operation, such as subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, or exponentiation to solve. It's important to know that the orders of operations when solving multi-steps equations are important to know. So that's important to know. All right, so last time I showed you this funny looking equation here. We had a 2x plus 2 equals 22. So what I notice here is we have x with the 2x and another x with the 2x. We usually have just one variable. So there's going to be some combining of like terms that we're going to have to do here in order to get one variable. So let's look at the 2x and the other 2x. If you remember from a long time ago, we had our adding of polynomials where you have your columns, x's in one column and your constants in the last column, and the x's we can combine because they were like terms meaning that they both have the same constant and exponent together, the same. So these have x's, so we can add these x's by adding or combining the coefficients. We have a 2x plus another 2x. That'll give us 4x, positive 4x. So now we have combined those two x's, and we have now a 4x. So that is another way we could have rewritten this equation, and that's important for when we get into our next lesson, part 3 of this solving equation. So I'll bring that back up later. But we have 4x plus 2 equals 22. Now, if you remember solving two-step equations, we can just go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides and then divide that by 4 and get our answer. X would be equal to 5. So our main goal was to combine the like terms in order to get it into a two-step equation. That way we could solve it. So that's what was different with this one. This equation, we have two terms here that had to be combined first in order to get one term with a variable in order to add 2 and equal to 22 and solve for x. So that was different. So here's one for you. This time we're solving for p. We have a p plus 2 minus 15 equals 171. Man, that's a lot of stuff going on here. So I notice we have two p's and we have a constant and a minus constant here. So we have a plus 2 and a minus 15. So we need to, again, get that together, and I got my columns here. I put p as my first column. I have a p plus p. If you remember, there's an imaginary 1 there, so in the coefficient. So 1p plus 1p is positive 2p. And my constant, I have a positive 2 plus a negative 15 or minus 15. If I remember my rules for addition, and if you forgot, check out my subtraction of integers video. Positive 2 plus a negative 15, we cannot add them up. We have to subtract. 15 minus 2 is 13, and choose the sign of the 15 because it's the larger digit. So we'd have 2p minus 13. So that's what this is going to look like. And remember, what we did was we first combined our p's to get the 2p, and then we have our positive 2 or plus 2 and a minus 15. We combine our constants to get us a minus 13. Now, if you look at the problem now, it's a lot easier, and it's a two-step equation where we would add 13 to both sides. So add 13 to both sides, so our 13s will cancel out, and then divide by 2 because we want to isolate the p by itself, and we'd have 184 divided by 2, and that would give us the answer of p is equal to 92. So that was a good problem. So remember, if you have a lot of variables, put them in their respective columns and add them up and combine the constants at the end, and that way you'll formulate your two-step equation. Uh-oh. Solve for y. 38 equals negative 3 parenthesis 4y plus 2 parenthesis plus y. Now, I remember in the other video, we talked about parentheses next to a number. That meant multiply. So we're going to be multiplying. But when we multiply by two terms here, we're really going to do something called distribution. So if you remember the distributive property, we're taking a on the outside, multiplying by b plus c, and this a happens to be a negative 3, so that's no problem. So that'll give us ab plus ac, or a times b minus c. We'd multiply a times b, that gives ab, and minus a times minus c, that gives us minus ac. So that's the distributive property. So let's look at this and distribute. So the distributive property is what we're going to do first. So we're going to take care of minus 3, multiply that by, notice the green arrow, the 4y. That's going to be done first. Then we're going to take minus 3 and multiply that by the plus 2. And if you forgot, check out the last video conference we did on the distributive property so you can see how it goes. So we're just dealing with this. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So the minus 3 got multiplied by the green positive 4y, and that'll give us negative 12y, because negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, different signs negative, when we multiply or divide, and put our y there. Now we had to distribute the negative 3 times the plus 2. Well, negative 3 times a positive 2 or plus 2, that'll give us negative 6 or minus 6, because signs are different, gives us negative. So there is what this distribution looks like. Now we're not finished yet, we just distributed. So we have a negative 12y minus 6. So let's bring down everything else, and this is what the equation is going to look like. 38 equals what we distributed up there to give us a negative 12y minus 6. And don't forget we have a plus y at the end. So we had a plus y at the end there. It didn't get tangled up with the distribution. So let's continue. Let's go to a new page. So here's our equation. And now, if you remember what we did a while back, just a little bit, a few pages ago, we have a negative 12y, and we have a minus 6, and we have a plus 12y. Well, we have y's there that are like terms. We can combine our like terms. So let's do that by putting our y column, put our minus 12y or negative 12y there, and we're going to add to that the positive y, or plus y. And remember, there's an imaginary 1 there. You can put it there. And the signs are different, so we have to subtract. 12 minus 1 is 11. And choose the sign of the 12 because it's bigger than the bigger integer and the bigger term. And we get negative 11y. There are no constants that we need to add, so we can just leave that minus 6 there. So this is what it's going to look like. We have 38 equals negative 11y, and there's still the minus 6. So we're going to add 6 to both sides and isolate that. 38 plus 6 is 44. And bring down the minus or negative 11y and divide both sides by negative 11. 44 divided by negative 11 is negative 4. So negative 4 is equal to y, or y is equal to negative 11. So that one was different because we had to distribute. So I hope you got that one. That was a good question. So here are the steps for multiplying, for solving a multi-step equation. Use the distributive property if necessary. Sometimes you don't have to. If you don't see any parentheses, that's a good indication. Combine the like terms. Undo the addition or subtraction using additive inverse. And undo the multiplication or division using the multiplicative inverse. So here's one for you I want you to solve. See if you can solve it in 2 minutes and 3 seconds. 3 parenthesis 2x plus 1 parenthesis plus x equals negative 39. So I'll give you 2 minutes and 3 seconds. I'm not going to start the clock. You can do it on your time. Here's another one for you. 19 is equal to negative a plus 1 equals plus 4a, sorry. So I'll give you another 2 minutes and 3 seconds. See if you can solve that one. Do it on your own time. Just pause the video and look for the answer. See if you can do it. So we have come to the end of our video. Our multi-step equations we just mastered, and now where are we going next? In part 3 of this, variables on both sides. Whoa, well, we know variables are letters, and on what do you mean on both sides? Well, here's what I'm talking about. Solve for a. 9a plus 2 equals 4a minus 18. Wow, now I see what they meant on both sides of the equal sign. So there's an a on this side and the same a is on that side. So can you figure out what's the same number for a? That 9a plus 2 is equal to 4a minus 18. So that's where we're going to go next time. So there's your homework for you. So do page 15, numbers 17 through to 21. And 21 I have down here, so you be the teacher. See if you can find the friend's mistake, if they made a mistake, if they're correct or not. Explain your reasoning. And there's an exit ticket for you, of course, to do. So next time I plan on doing a live video conference will be on Monday. Special session for you, so don't miss it. Please come. It'll be at 10 a.m., so look for my Google Meet conference. So remember, if you need help with your homework, there's Dial a Teacher Homework Helpline at 212-777-3380, Monday to Thursdays, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Don't forget, I have YouTube study videos. Check them out. My channel name is Dan Robinson. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know how we're doing. If we're doing well or not, write us a comment. That way I can write you back and you can help me make better videos. I do write back. Check out a new release, PKMS Math Prep 20. Good movie. I think you'll like it. Tweet me at drobmath1. Don't forget to watch our show Math Time on Tuesdays at 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Optimum Cablevision, Channel 15 in Peekskill. If you want to study with Dr. Rob or would like some type of worksheet, please write me at drobinson@peekskillschools.org. I'll send you something. So I hope you enjoyed our video, and I hope you got something out of it. I'll look for you next time. This is Dr. Robinson signing off from Solving Equations, getting ready for 8th grade math part 2. See you next time. Bye-bye.